All right, all right, all right. TGIF, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome to the last Friday of the show. The last Friday. Did I say last Friday of the show? The last Friday of the year of 2019. Ready or not, it's gone. It's gone, y'all. There's nothing I can do about it. Can anyone bring it back? Would you repeat it? What would you do if you had a chance? Well, I can't bring it back. It's gone. It's gone bye-bye. Only thing you can do is look forward. Hope you guys had a great holiday. Hope you all were safe and enjoyed your family, whatever it is that you do this holiday season. I have heard a lot of suicides, and that's pretty sad to hear that um, this time of the year. A lot of people look at it as a time for family because you grow up with Christmas. Your parents lie to you and tell you there's a Santa Claus. Yeah, just go ahead and say it. They lie to you. And but anyway, you grow up with your family, you have a good time and all that, and then you do the same thing with your children, and it's special normally for your loved ones, and yeah, it's can be a sad time too. So I hope you guys were not affected by that. Um, I just happen to have read some articles about it, and know some people that just struggle this time of the year. So it just touches me that way, just knowing people. That's right, Christine. Lies on top of lies on top of lies. Come tell us some big fat man coming through the chimney. How dare they? I want my money back. Oh, that's right. I didn't pay for anything. Okay. Well, anyway. But yeah, I'm glad my parents never lied to me. My parents are just straight up and like, look here. We ain't got no tree. We ain't gonna give you no tree. We ain't got time for all that. We gonna get you something now. And here you go. And I appreciated it. But other than that, I would say humbug. And also what's going on. Let's see. Besides the holiday, well, it's still the holiday. We have New Year's. Next week, darling. Next week it has arrived. Again, ready or not. There it is. There it is. Oh yeah, fitness mom. I'll go back to that. It is. I've seen some story. I've heard some stories. I've seen how it affected some children with the lies. It, it's just a mess. And you got to look at it. Hey, we're doing it to ourselves. You know, we don't have to lie to our children. I mean, what's the whole benefit with that? But I'll leave that alone. And if anyone wants to talk about it, then that's what we'll do. Because you may not want to hear my dark thoughts. And yes, I understand they're dark, but it is what it is. Um, but anyway, next year is here. Next week is next year. Can you believe that? It's like, what you doing next year? Oh, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. It's just a few days. I'm sure your mortgage is due. I'm sure your rent is due. What you mean you didn't think about it? But yeah, it is here. And so many different changes. Usually it's always a lot of financial changes. Everything goes up. Your cost of your health care increases. Your taxes, your rent, your utilities, yada, yada, yada. Just continue on and on and on. And I don't know how much more they're going to um, put taxes on a cell phone. I mean, the list of tax on your cell phone is ridiculous. It's as much as it is for our utility, for our electricity in Chicago. Excuse me. I've actually, I called the company and asked them if I can file some of that on my taxes. And the guy laughed and said, of course not. And I asked, why not? It says federal. One of those lines says federal. So I would like to know why I can't put that on my taxes. Explain that to me. I'm sure they put it on theirs. They get discounts and all those type of things. I want some of those discounts too. Why can't I have some? See how people are just so stingy. They don't share. You know, the corporations, they have all the tax and the write-offs and all of that. But poor John Public, he gets nothing. You know, it's just sad. It makes me sad. And then they get upset when we find us a hustle. But you got to find a hustle. You have no choice. You have to have a hustle to get by and a hustle just to save. You really do. You have no choice. And let me think of a hustle for you. Let's think. What hustle do I know that could be considered illegal but legal? Let's see. Ah, the mighty coupon hustle. Yeah, there's a such thing as a coupon hustle. You might not have heard of it, but I'll tell you. You go to the store with that mighty manufacturer coupon and you get your discount. And then you return the item and you get the money of the coupon back as well. Yeah, that's the coupon hustle. Now, it doesn't work everywhere, and they have tightened up on that, but it was a hustle. Nonetheless, it was a way to get by. So, yeah, that's just one. Oh, there's plenty more. I just have to think about it. Let's see what else is happening. Um, let's see. Well, I was talking about everything is increasing for 2020. Um, and one thing I used to always do, and I actually still do, is you have an idea of what the increases are. So if you get a little extra money, don't spend it. Just put it to the side because you're going to have to use it. It's just like with increases on your paychecks. A lot of companies, depends on where you work, your increases are those little small percentages between 1% and 5%. And you're at 5%, that's pretty good if you can. But a lot of companies that I know of, 1 to 3% really. But I'll make it take it to 5%, just for good measure. But even if it was, um, what would that be after taxes? Seriously. Happy birthday, fitness mom, middle child. Hey, it's your birthday. Go baby, it's your birthday. So you save that little money because again, everything is going to go up. I've yet to find where anything goes down, except for maybe the value of something. Now that goes down. There was a time when you can go into the store and you get some soap, some bar soaps or bars of soap, and it was a full bar of soap. And then one day, I just decided to check it out, and I said, "What is this dip? There's a dip in my bar soap. Who carved out sections of my bar soap for the same price?" And that was just their way of trying to trick you as a consumer. They're like, well, we're going to take some of the soap back. We'll charge you the same price, but we're just going to reduce the amount of soap that you get. Isn't that about something? Isn't it about something? But that's how they do it. They slowly take things back. So as I say, I don't see anything increasing. It's just going to be decreasing. Sorry about that. Only increasing. Um, not. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the healthcare. At one time, it was mandatory that you have to have healthcare insurance. Now they have it that you don't have to, but in some states, they have made it mandatory. And one of them happened to be Texas, such a large state. And it's really tough for a lot of people because think about you could just be a student And especially if you're a student, you have to have insurance. That was a time that you can go to college, you didn't have to have any health care insurance. But now, yep, you got to have it. So again, as I say, everything increases. So if you get that little extra, whatever it is, just put it to the side. You're going to have to use it anyway. Yeah, Texas is a huge state. That's where I'm looking to migrate to. And reason being is, well, right now, anyway, they don't have state taxes. But they'll wait till I get there and then have them. Don't think I don't know. They looking and waiting for me. Oh yeah. They're like, oh, here she come. Oh, starting 2021. Now you have to pay state taxes. Isn't that about something? But yeah, they'll do that just because of me. I'm thinking I'm gonna move south, save a little bit, and there you go. What can I go and just save? I mean, come on. And a lot of people are they're leaving Illinois and Grove. I mean, Grove. I can't stand the weather, JBA. That's just too hot. I'd just be miserable. I'm such a city girl. But I will say the education, in my opinion, is great for people in Texas. I have seen that. They are on that when it comes down to education. No joke. I've seen my friends' children in school to 8, 9 o'clock. I'm like, what are you all doing? But they're serious about it. You have your studies, and then you have your extracurricular activities. They're teaching you how to play instruments or games or whatever it is that they're doing. You're gonna you're gonna know something. You're gonna have some talent, and that's what one thing I like about them. They really work with the talents that the children have. They've cut you pretty much everything here in Chicago in our school system. They don't have a budget for nothing. It's that bad, literally. And it makes it sad too. Now they just came up off a strike. Um, it's always that 2.5%, and then a year or so later, they take some of it back, or they'll renege some kind of way. Then they'll strike again. I'm like, it's the same thing over and over and over again. But yeah, Illinois is, well, shoot, they're not even holding on by a thread. They're not even holding on. Crazy glue can't even help Illinois. It's extremely bad. Excuse me. And then as far as with the pensions, that's a joke. Now I have my little pension rant. If you're familiar with me for the past year or so, you know about my pension and what I feel about having one. I'm willing to sell myself, you know, for a pension. But anyway, um, they had been thinking about for the state to go bankrupt just so they can do something with these pensions. I don't know. I haven't heard anything lately, but it's not off the table. Trust me, not off the table at all. Hey, DJ Music, what's happening? Poetic Chaos, what's happening? So glad to see you. I can never catch you Poetic Chaos. It's just never a great time for you. I started the show on Saturdays at 6. That wasn't a good time. I moved it to 7. That's not a good time. You know I'm teasing you. All is welcome to join the show. That's what this show is for. It's for the ladies to have a conversation and be honest and free with it. Um, I am glancing at the chat room. So if I see that you want a link, I will put in the chat room. Not concerned with emailing it because uh, you will just be sitting backstage. You'll have the link, whoever you are, and you just be sitting there. You won't be getting on this show. But I will, continue for, I don't know, for a little while longer. And if I don't get any ladies to come on, then I will shut it down because, again, it is for you. And let's see. I interrupt myself. What was I talking about? I was talking about something. Oh, these pensions. Ah, true and dear to my heart. But anyway, um, again, everything increases. So as far as with these pensions, something's going to have to be done because the state is not able to pay them. That's just the bottom line. There's nothing you can do about it. So what are you going to do about it? The cell phone tax. I'm going to tell you. My cell phone started off at $40. Okay. I kept looking at the tax. That makes it about $51. Same phone, everything, nothing changed. Next thing I know, 42, 43, 44, 45. I'm like, what is going on? They just keep taxing your cell phone. They keep adding this tax, that tax. It's just so many lines. It's just ridiculous. I'm like, what's wrong with these folks? But, this nickel and diamond has never worked. That the system is literally going to crash. But we're going to keep living until we, you know, can't live here anymore, I guess. But I'll see about that move. We'll see how it goes. Who's to know? But for the state, it's gone. It is impossible to continue to keep this thing going. And they're going to tax us till the wheels fall off. You get a tax. You get a tax. You get a tax. Everybody gets a tax. And an extra tax at that. Yeah, but I'm really serious about that electric bill. I sure did ask if I could file it because it said federal tax. I looked, my mind got to thinking like, wait a minute, this says federal. Yeah, cool. That was a joke, but oh well. What's happening? Welcome. Happy birthday to your middle baby. How are you?
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a very busy holiday season.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure. Extra parties and presents and gifts.
I know because, my birthday was Monday, then Christmas is Wednesday, and then her birthday is today. So it's a whole busy week. And then New Year's is in a couple of days. So it's just a busy time of year for me.
All right. But that's you're really great though. Because that's everybody's excited. The end of the year, the birthdays, Christmas, everybody's excited. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, actually, just like that's a lot of people talk about the fact that when you're born near Christmas, you don't get a lot of gifts. But I mean, the thing about it is, even if you don't like, I didn't have a party. Nobody celebrated my birthday. I didn't get any gifts, but everybody was still in a festive mood. So therefore, it still seemed exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's the thing about having a birthday. I feel this time of year, like people born on New Year's Eve and everything. even if you don't have anybody celebrating for you specifically, you can always find a festive place to go and celebrate.
That's true. That is true.
So,
And then you got your office parties, people
uh-huh.
doing stuff. I mean, so it's everywhere. You're right about
So
that.
it's like people are partying, and then you can just say, "Hey, they're not partying for me, per se, but they're still partying."
That's right. Still gonna have a good time. Hey,
Especially the
it's
people that were born on December 31st and stuff like, woo they party hard for their birthday.
okay. Champagne everywhere. Wow. Well,
Yeah.
that's exciting. I normally, a lot of times you're at a job, you have to work half a day, the day before, day after to get paid, and all of that. So I'm involved in all of that. So I'm happy to have the actual day off. All the eves I have to work, but you know, you got to make a living, so you do what you got to do. You party afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. To think about, you said you're moving to Texas. Have you decided any particular areas?
Well, it was on the list to actually do this year, but things had changed, and so I said, well, maybe 2021. But I was looking at Dallas, and then one of the companies that I want to work for, they're in Richardson, and I'm like, still want Dallas because I'm straight city girl. I need stuff to be open up to midnight at least.
Well, you say you're city girl, right? But there's like four
Hmm.
major cities in Texas, and each of the four major cities has a different vibe to it. I mean,
Hmm.
it depends on the kind of vibe or the kind of feel you want. Like someone who's like want a kind of party vibe, like Atlanta type of vibe, they'll go to somewhere like Houston. If you want a party vibe that's more not mature, more nerdish, sort of like a California tech kind of vibe, then you go to Austin. If you want like a more conservative, family orientated type of vibe, then you go to Dallas and DFW.
That's
And
me. Hmm.
if you want a more exotic vibe, I should say, then you go like San Antonio. Because I'm telling
Oh.
you, it really is like each city in Texas has its own flair. Like Austin is Democratic. It's a bunch of Democrats.
Hmm.
It's Democratic city in Texas. It's always got a changing population, and it's a young population in Austin as well because of the fact that it's got that big university down there, and so it's constantly have a flow of people between 18 and 24 years old moving in and out of Austin every year. And it's also got a lot of engineers and stuff like that. So it's a lot of, more professional blacks there, young techs there, startups, just a more democratic
Hmm.
feel there. While Houston is more like the Atlanta of Texas, you got a lot of
Okay.
black people there.
Largest state in the United States by area and population. Located
Uh-oh.
in the central region, Texas shares borders with the states of
That's
Louisiana,
my Alexa.
Arkansas.
Hush, Alexa, hush. Nobody asked you nothing. Nobody asked you
Alexa,
nothing.
stop.
I don't understand.
Basically,
That's
yeah.
what it's going to say.
It was like Texas is the second level. Like, oh,
Please, Shar, move here. Go to Dallas. It's a place for you. Right now, there's no income tax for the state. Come now. Can't promise when you get here.
like
No.
that's like DFW for me. Because
Hmm.
I like DFW, the whole image that people have of Texas is sort of the DFW image in a way.
Uh-huh.
When they talk about, people are in Texas are all about religion, they're all about their guns, and they're all about, all this other stuff. Like that's really DFW. That they are all about the religion here. They are all
Hmm.
about the whole state is all about the guns, but and I mean it's really about this area is more family slash kind of a little more not so diverse. Well, it's still diverse. There's still a lot of black people here, but we're not as it's
Uh-huh.
more conservative here. Like this is where the Bush is. A couple of places where a lot of those people live. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, you give a great breakdown from the research and me visiting and know people that live there. You have really given a great breakdown.
And like I said, San Antonio is for if you want that exotic vibe. You might want some authentic Mexican food or stuff like that.
Mm, okay.
It's also a
All
little
right.
more liberal down there as well in San Antonio. And like I said, Houston is basically Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I didn't move there because I've lived in Atlanta and I didn't want to repeat Atlanta. So I stayed.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, give me the conservative place. Yeah.
So yeah, people say, why you live in the DFW? You're black and you're in D. I'm like, there's a whole lot of us black people up here. So
Sure is. And a lot came from Chicago too. A lot of my classmates like "I'm going south. Texas, here I come. And that's where they moved to. Yeah, but the education is great. That
it's
much I can say.
it's funny, right? Because I moved to an area because when I first
Hmm.
got here, I didn't have any particular area because I was going to move to Austin because Austin is the city I fell in love with in Texas when I first. But I was 20 something when I first went there, and I thought
Ah,
it was cool because you want to talk about big city feel. Let me tell you what happened to me in Austin. So Austin has that big university down there, and like I said, there's always an influx of young people, and they're always partying in the street. So one time it was me and my husband walking down the street in Austin, and we were in our 20s. And all of a sudden, a boat comes driving past us. And I mean, a boat
oh.
literally comes driving past with a bunch of white dudes in the back from the university, right? And they're literally tossing beers off the back of this boat.
What the world?
My husband caught one.
Wow. That's Mardi Gras. Okay.
And I'm like,
Beard. Okay.
they are driving boats and tossing beers in the street.
Beers instead of beads. All right. That's an interesting story right there. Wow.
And I
Okay.
was like, oh yes, we definitely gonna live in Texas.
You sold, huh? Okay. Uh-uh. Hope it wasn't a 40 ounce. Oh boy.
Oh no, it was
Mm-mm.
a can. I
Okay.
mean, it wasn't like a hard toss, but the fact that they were riding down the street in a boat tossing beers was really just that was enough.
Yeah, that was wild. Okay.
Because I'm
All
like,
right.
as before I was like, man, you're liable to see all kind of things in New York City, blah blah blah. And I'm like, you can't surprise me. But then when I saw that, I was like, okay, yeah. So I'm living here now.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
They won't toss. They will not toss beers off the back of the boat here. But yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. Was it cold? That's really nice if it was the can was cold.
Oh yes, they were getting out the coolers on the back of the boat. And they was what they were doing was they was like, anybody want a beer? And if anybody like, yo, me over here, they'd be like, catch.
Hmm. I wonder where they are now.
Probably
You
graduated.
ever wonder about certain things? Yeah, certain things happen. You be wondering. I wonder what happened to those people that did this, or that group of people that did that. Sometimes you just wonder. At least I do.
That group of people probably somebody CEO somewhere. Because
Mm.
whoever had that boat had that boat.
Okay. Hmm. That is interesting. It's wild, but it still was interesting. I like that story. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot of different things happen in Texas. And we brought family down here too, because when we first found out we was coming to Texas, we were not happy. Nobody was happy. Like, Texas, this is racist down there. Who gonna go to Texas? They gonna do this, that, and other. We had all kind of preconceived notions about Texas. And then we came here, was like, okay,
Uh-huh.
Texas.
Okay. Yeah, you got your main airport and everything.
Mm-hmm.
DFW, so yeah.
About 20 minutes from there, 15 minutes, not that far.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, you're right there then. And how far is was that Galveston, the port for the ships?
Galveston,
Are you
that's
doing
down there by Houston. That's
Oh,
about 4 hours. Like Houston is
ooh.
about a good 4 hours, something like that. Like around maybe 3 to 4 hours, I think. I can't remember
Mm,
it specifically, but it's around that area.
okay.
Like
Yeah, normally. Oh, go ahead.
if you live in Austin, you're more central to the big cities. Like Austin is about 2 hours from almost everybody, except for like San Antonio, which is about an hour out of Austin or something like that.
Okay.
Well, unless you're talking about El Paso or those cities over there and all that stuff. But I mean, like the four big cities, because you have El Paso and you have the smaller cities that are more uh, Wyatt Earp type Texas. Not saying El
Okay.
Paso is Wyatt Earp type Texas. I'm just saying it's surrounded
Mm-hmm.
by some areas out there. Like I was driving to through El Paso one time, right? And this is this stretch of highway leading to El Paso. And on the side of the highway, like Texas has the weirdest signs. Like when you're driving, because I've driven across the country. I've driven to California, and different states got weird signs on it. And one of the signs in Texas that you'll see a lot is the people sign, where you got it's like crossing people across it and stuff, and they have like a little family on the sign. You know,
Uh, hmm. Okay.
instead of an animal that have a family on the sign, or it say signs like caution, prisoners are crossing, or don't pick up hitchhikers because prisoners are in the area, and all this other stuff.
Mm.
So it's like weird signs like that, because up north you're not going to see a sign with a family on it. And I was like, because I'm
Right.
no, like yeah, we got signs with families on the streets instead of animals. You don't have deer signs, you have people signs. And
Mm.
people's like, oh my God, are you serious? Like, yeah, you got to watch out for them running into the street.
Wow. Okay. All right. That is what it is then. Okay. Hmm. Now I know you have to go in a certain area. Let me see. I went. I think it was downtown. They had. I like that show, Cheaters. I haven't watched it in a long time, but um, we drove past there where their studios were, and I actually wanted to go and see if I can work for them because I like investigative stuff. I'd be wanting to know what happened, and I would really help them out. I'm really thinking about doing that.
Hey, that sounds like a good thing. Why not? Or you could open up your own investigative service.
Hmm. Okay.
Because there's a lot of investigative people here, little investigative services that you can hire. Because everybody trying to catch everybody doing something out here.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought about that, but I was watching stuff on cheaters, and I'm like, you know what? I can do that. I ain't trying to run down the street with them and all that with a camera and flashlights and all that kind of stuff. But I am interested in getting to the bottom of whatever, is happening. And I said, I said, if I come back down here, I'm gonna see if I can work for them.
I think you should give it a try. I know I would if I had wanted to, because there's a lot of jobs in this area. A lot of jobs.
Yeah, that's another thing. I've seen so many young people working in Dallas. That's the other thing. If the child, and I, say child, meaning the teen, they need a job, they're in their teens or whatever, they always can find one. And then I like the carpooling. People always would help, different families, they will help to make sure their child has a ride coming home and all of that.
Yeah,
I'm
they,
like,
they do
I'm
that a
thinking
lot.
that.
They do that a lot.
Hmm.
They even do that like from school, from work. It's because you get to a discount with more people in the car.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
always down the carpool here, stuff like that. And I mean, you really don't have an excuse to not have a job.
Yeah.
Because even like even if you were just sitting at home or just even if you didn't have any skills, you can always there is a thriving Uber, Lyft, all that in this area.
Hmm.
You could deliver food for DoorDash. You could do all kind of stuff in this area for a job. I mean, there's really no reason for you to not have a job.
And when did the DoorDash and all that become popular in Texas?
It's,
Was
uh,
like
uh,
the last 3 years, maybe?
yeah, around that time, maybe more.
Okay. Okay.
Because I mean, when Texas is a big football state.
Oh yeah.
So when the game is on, especially nobody wants to do anything with food, so everybody's delivering.
Okay.
I
And
mean,
the weather is great too. That's the other thing about Texas. That was another thing that was on my list because of the weather.
the weather like this. I'm afraid of driving. That's one of the big problems I had in Atlanta. Was that when you
Oh.
go to Atlanta, I tell you, those people act like they want to run you off the road. They're crazy with it. So
Real aggressive.
yeah, the driving here is not as bad. So
Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, the weather has been a little strange because I have it on my phone. I always keep up with Dallas, and but the weather's been a little strange lately. I don't know what that's all about. But then again, the temps have been changing all across the world. It's just been
what do you
very odd.
about strange? Like, cause this the winters in Texas, especially in Dallas, like Dallas is one of the colder parts of Texas because
Hmm.
we're farther north than everybody else, and it's not cold. Not saying it's cold.
Hmm.
But we're nowhere near as warm as San Antonio, and we don't have as much problems as we're not as humid as Houston. I mean,
Hmm.
I think the best weather will probably be Austin because they don't have the humidity of Houston, nor the somewhat coldness. Because like outside of Dallas, you can get snow in certain parts of the Panhandle and up there in the top of Texas,
Hmm.
and we're not that far from there. But that's
Hmm.
also the part that gets the most tornadoes too, up there in the top part of Texas.
Yeah.
So I mean, they actually get snow up there, but like Dallas, we can get snow. We haven't gotten any snow this year,
Hmm.
but if we do get snow, it's like an inch. You know, just a little dusting. Nothing to really talk about or really call snow. You usually will not see a single snowflake in somewhere like San Antonio.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but I know with the tornadoes, and then I'm told the city shuts down because you guys are not equipped for anything with snow and ice. Um,
Oh yeah, an inch of snow will get the whole place shut down.
yeah, we be going to school and work and everything else, and a foot of snow and ice. They just tell you be careful, leave early. But we have had it where it's gotten real cold, and they did have to. They have offered to shut down things because they had to try to even heat up the tracks for the trains because everything was just frozen. That's why it's just a big joke with that Jesse Smollett going out in temperatures that will get you frostbitten, and he's out there for a sandwich, so he says. So that's the big running joke with him. But it ain't just no joke. When we do freeze, we deep freeze, and it's been very nice. What we had, I think, yesterday was 57, between 57 and 62 yesterday. Just that nice. We dropped to the 40s today. Tomorrow, I think we're going back up to 50, I think. But the weather's been a little strange in most places. Let me see.
I think
Tomorrow,
it was 70
48.
here.
Okay.
I think it was like 70 here. But
Mm,
I know it was been high 60s lately. But I mean, when we get the coldest it usually gets around here is 34, maybe 40 something, 30. They're like mid 30s. It will be like
hmm
the coldest it'll usually drop. And when it's that cold, people are losing their minds.
I'm pretty sure. Now, you wrote in the chat room about Satan Claus. Did you have a story to share or something?
No, it's just my personal beliefs on Santa. I mean, a lot of people believe in
Hmm
that, and I mean, I know that it's not Jesus' actual birthday,
hmm
but I do not believe in sharing Jesus' birthday with false idols. So that's just what how I feel about him.
Oh, okay. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. I just found it interesting that we deceive our children. We're the parents, and uh, we lie to them and say, "Oh, be good now. Santa gonna bring you this, that, and the other." When you're out there working your fingers to the bone to get your child a gift, and you keep that lie going as long as you possibly can. Uh, but that's just my opinion about it.
I
That people do that. I understand the whole surprise and all that stuff. I get that, but still, you just still lying to the kids. So
I feel
yeah,
like that is actually preparing the children more for adulthood because in all actuality, we just lie to each other all the time.
you get a lie, you get a lie, you get a lie.
Basically, I mean, because we nobody's going to be honest, just brutally honest to some people about certain things most of the time, especially if it's like someone you don't know or really don't care that much about. If someone to be like, "How do I look in this?" and they may look completely awful, but you're like, hey, that's nice, that's beautiful. You know what I mean? It's at that
Yeah,
point, it's
I've yeah, I've seen that. Unfortunately, don't ask me because I'm gonna tell you the truth. But
like
continue.
it's like, at this point, It's like the truth is a like everybody say they want the truth, but then if you try to, because I have I have learned don't give the truth. The truth is something people don't want to get. Because I mean, I used to like it was this places where people like they want my opinion on something, and I give them my opinion, and I was people be like, well, you can't talk to her because she's so mean and she does this and that and that. I'm like, I'm not mean. I don't do this, that, and other. And I was just like, ugh, I've learned, people say they
Yeah.
want the truth, but nobody wants the truth. And if you give them the truth, they'll sit there and be like, whatever. Just like the whole Satan Claus thing. I'm like, you say you're a Christian, but you're celebrating a false idol.
Well,
And then I'm
yeah.
the bad guy. Because I'm trying to kill children's imaginations. I'm like, I'm not killing imaginations. They say you say that you're a Christian, and they say God is a jealous God. God is a vengeful God, but yet still you're celebrating a fat man, a fat white man with that comes down your chimney. Ain't that a false idol? I mean, Easter is about the Christ rising, and you got a bunny hopping across the way. I'm like, these are false idols, but you don't talk about that. You gotta not kill children's dreams.
Now I was taught about that as well, but I looked at it as a financial thing because a lot of these things that they consider holidays, it's really not in the budget to even celebrate it. So I look at it as if I don't have the money to celebrate it, it must not really be that important. And I keep it moving.
Well, yeah, so people don't want the truth, so when they start to feed their children the lies of Santa and all this other stuff, it's just like, it's preparing them for adulthood, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they're preparing, but I'll accept your opinion about it. I just think it's if they do it because everyone else do it out of tradition. That's what I look at it as. But everyone they have their opinion. They have to actually say it. It's like, why do you do it? Why do you do it? Why do you do it? But a
Oh,
lot of it's with tradition too.
yeah, it is. But I'm talking
Hmm.
about the fact that they're lying to their children, just preparing them. Oh, some people gonna lie to you, so get ready to lie back.
You get a lie. You get a lie. You get a lie. Yeah, passing them out. Mm-mm-mm. Well,
I was on Kendra was talking earlier about
hmm
she had a live, and we were talking. She was talking about how love shouldn't be the basis of relationships, and
hmm
I so agree with that. But a lot of people base their relationship and their marriage and all that stuff off of something as frivolous as love, and it's like that's how come there's so many divorces these days.
mm. Now that's interesting. Now, when would the love come into play?
Well, I mean, it's one thing to have like a lot of people when they say love, they talk about all the things that love does, or all the actions that they do because of love. But I
Hmm
mean, love is an act is just a feeling. Like this one person was pointing something out when they said like when a man cheats on a woman and he's cheating on a woman, he says something like I'll cheat on her because she's mean to me or because she does bad things to me. Well, that
hmm
that he has lost his love for that woman in that moment, right? Or in that time period. And so therefore he's treating her the way about because due to how he feels about her. So that means that, we when it comes to people, we never feel the same about anybody all the time. No matter how much you love somebody, that love will not last throughout the whole time. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
Interesting.
Because your love will change to disgust, to anger. to all kind of things, because anger is not that far from love. You can't hate
Yeah.
unless you love, first off.
Yeah, I gotta finish reading that book too. I was recommending a book about that. Shoot, I forgot the name, but it's on my list of things to read about love and anger. But
Hate
I will.
and love are the same feeling.
Yeah, I think that's the. But the title is something like that. But I have to look for it. But as far as love, okay, so that's supposed to be a good thing. When do you feel that? When is that discovered? When is it that you feel the love? When does it happen?
Depends on the way people feel love depends on each person, or how they go to about feeling love. Like sometimes, like, we was another discussion, we was talking about how women fall in love with the ideas, so however
Hmm.
strong you are with your idea of how that man is usually determine how soon you will feel what you think is quote unquote love.
Hmm.
Like, it'll be a woman who's like, we're soulmates, we're tied at the we have a strong bond. That's basically her saying that her mind has created this image of this man that's so strong that she is now in love with this image that she has built up. And it can happen within the first day of meeting someone. When people tell me something, they fall in love
Hmm.
at first sight. That's just a mental image that they fall in love with, and it's not actually the person. You know what I mean?
Okay, so once they get this image, and when does it change?
Sometimes it doesn't.
Okay, so they shouldn't have that feeling in order to marry that person
Well,
or
the
be.
thing about it is, like, the image, let's say, the image, like, you could tell a woman if her image has changed or not. If she says something like, my husband's great if only he'd do this, or, he'd be perfect if only he'd do that, or, I wish my husband would pick up the laundry or do his own dishes or stuff like that. That's her still falling in love with that image, or what are the potential she sees in that man. Because that's what potential is. It's the image.
Hmm. Okay.
I mean, that's I loved him because I could see all the potential. No, that means that you love the image of him in your head.
Hmm.
You don't actually love him yet for who he actually is.
So will that change? I mean, when that changes, are you saying that the woman will leave or respect him less because that image she has changed?
Well, no, for when that image finally changes, the only time she can actually accept the man for who he is. But a lot of people never do. So they never accept the people for who they are.
And so they in turn is miserable and they leave, or miserable and they stay.
Either
What
whatever
do you
they
find?
decide to do. Like some women that sit there and be like, they'll sit there and chase behind the man who's cheating on them all the time instead of accepting that he's just a cheater. Or they'll leave him for cheating. Be like, oh, well, some women they'll be like, oh, he's a cheater, and I that's a deal breaker, so I leave. Those are the women that's accepted it. But a lot of women won't accept it, and they'll sit there and chase behind the man, or try to change the man instead of just accepting the man for who and what he is, because they don't want to break that image.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
that's very interesting, I must say. Okay.
Women fall in love with an image, while men fall in love with the actual woman. That's why they make sayings like, men get married, they don't want the woman to change because they fall in love with her for who she is. While women
Hmm.
want growth.
Mm. All right.
You can
Now,
finally accept him for who he is if he's a cheater, and you stay with him. Be like, it was this woman named Keisha Kaur who everybody was talking about because Gucci Man was her husband or something. She was like, yeah, she's with him because he's a cheater, and she knows this, and she's happy with him or whatever.
hmm
And when you think about it, she's accepting him for who he is, and she's not going to sit there and be like, oh well, I'm going to not like Cardi B, for instance. Offset is cheating. But she's like, oh no, he got hacked. And she's buying into the hack story. And he's like, yeah, I got hacked. Instead of just went like, yeah, I'm kind of like going and doing things. You know what I mean? They try to deny that side because they're not accepting or fully accepting of the whole person. Which also had me thinking about something about dysfunctional relationships and whether
Uh-huh.
there really are dysfunctional relationships, if you really think about it. Because I was thinking about this, been thinking about this for the past couple of days.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you. Is it really dysfunctional then? But
That's what I
continue.
was going to say, because when you think about it, like some things that may be a deal breaker for me may not necessarily be a deal breaker for someone else. Now, for me in that relationship, if I tried to stay, it would be dysfunctional. But if that is the way, like some people like bad boys and they're in a relationship with bad boys. But the thing is, if they break up with that bad boy, they're used to get back in another relationship with a bad boy. So is it really that person is dysfunctional, but their dysfunction leads them to that type of person? You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's
That's
the kind of
what they're attracted to.
yeah.
Okay.
So if they can learn to accept the bad boys that they are, would it be okay then for them to be able to be with their bad boy? Like it was this video that I was watching on this show called Psych to Go that
Uh-huh.
about psychology and stuff like that, and how we have different attachment styles and bonding styles.
Uh-huh.
And it was saying something like, and at the end of the video, it said, maybe, just maybe, if we learn to accept who we are, we can learn how to deal with the kind of people that we are attracted to in a healthier way. Because they
Hmm.
said that sometimes what it takes is instead of you sometimes you can't help what you're attracted to, but you can help how you deal or how you handle that person, the kind that you're attracted to. If you get to know who you are, that you're like, okay, I like men who are a little more bossy. But when I'm with a man who's a little bossy, I like to rebel because that's what's in me. The rebel against the bossy man. And so it causes a dysfunctional relationship. So if I was to know myself, maybe I'd be like, I like bossy men, but I have a tendency to rebel. So I'm not going to rebel. I'm just going to interact with him in a healthier way. You know?
That is funny. It was this guy that I dated that liked to argue. And there was one time I just kind of put it in the back of my head, but he actually told me. He said, life was no fun without any confrontation. I heard it and just, filed it away. Didn't really think much about it until time was going on. And I realized this guy just want to argue. He just had to do something. Now, um, for that instance, that's not something I like. And I left that situation and never to choose a person that, like that, that's like that sense. Um, now, that was just one situation. So that wouldn't apply in this particular thing.
No.
But I understand what you're saying. But just I'm thinking about this dude that was his thing. He liked to argue. That turned him on, evidently.
Yeah.
And just wondering, how does that person function? That's what they like. How do they function?
Either find someone who likes to argue back and that turns them on, and there are plenty of women out there that do, or, or find someone who kind of likes. There are some women who might have been in a household where the father was a yeller or something, and they're used to sort of cowering, and that's what they know or they're familiar with. It's sort of like you got to match this
Yeah.
you got to sort of match dysfunctions. You know what I mean? It's weird that way.
Yeah, I'm gonna maybe set something up. Give me a study and just get me some numbers on this. just to see. But people have to be honest, of course. You know, I start a study and they start lying. Well, that's not going to give me no true numbers. But it is kind of interesting if I can get people to just say, "Hey, this is what I like. I don't care how strange it is. I like this,"
Well,
and just see how many people are out there
well,
that
that's
like
not.
that type of stuff. You
I
know.
think what we should do instead of just asking what they like, because people lie to themselves. There's a way that I like to think of myself, and then there's a way that I actually am, and everybody
Mhm.
has that.
Mhm.
The way that you like to think of yourself, and the way that you actually are with other people or in situations. So, the like they say, past behavior is a good predictor of future behavior. So instead of saying what do you like, usually the best thing to say, so what were your exes like? Like you'll hear a woman talk,
Hmm.
I don't like liars, and all her exes were all a bunch of liars. So basically she liars.
uh-uh. Yeah, but you know, even with the personality test, it doesn't ask specific. They don't really. They kind of ask you in a roundabout way, a bunch of questions, and then it kind of sums up uh, a particular trait. So I would have to set it up that way. I couldn't ask specifically, but yeah, that would be kind of cool though. I'm just curious what the outcome would be. I'm just kind of curious about that. But yeah, that's an interesting conversation, I must say. Very interesting.
Yeah. So you is asking people how they are or what they are, basically who they are, is usually something a way to get a person what they how they feel or their idea of themselves. Like I can
Right.
give you all kind of ideas of me, but then all of a sudden you gotta see it's actions that tells us who we are and what we do.
How we function. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
So, it's that's why when you talk to someone, if you're dating people, when I was dating, I always
Uh-huh.
so people are like, I don't want to have the ex talk. I'm like, oh yes, that's one of the first things I'm having. So how was the ex? What's the ex like? How was your relationships with your exes? How were they? And then I listen to what they say. Oh, she was a crazy woman. Oh, so you like crazy women? Okay. Mm,
uh-uh.
it was this one guy who was live tonight, and he was talking about this this woman had posted a question in the chat, and she was like, my boyfriend has a crazy ex that stalks us and blah blah blah. And then he was like, well, you gotta wonder what kind of man your boyfriend was to have this ex that's still stalking him 5 years after they're together. Like, why hasn't he blocked this woman? You know what I mean? Like, things like that are huge red flags about a person and their personality and their, you know what I mean, their value.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
you don't ignore stuff like that, because that just shows that this person is dangerous.
Yeah, I always ask questions like that. I'd be wondering. Because I'm like, especially, if something goes for a long time, I'm like, okay, so what did this person do to change it? Are they trying to change it? Do they like this? What's happening? It's open topic, Rainy Woman. You're welcome to hop on if you like. We were just talking about, well, Fitness Mom started with love, and we just kind of evolved from that to what we're talking about now. But you can hop on if you like. It's open topic every Friday. Help yourself. But yeah, often use that guy for an example because I've never experienced anything like that before. That was just the oddest thing. Everything was fine and dandy, and then just all of a sudden, he just came up with something. I'm looking around, looking for the camera, like, okay, somebody punking me, right? Where's the camera? And I couldn't find it. And but I realized that's what that person enjoyed.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to watch out. Like it's crazy because a lot of people, they have their little their kinks and their little things that they like, and you got to, like I said, you got to sort of match dysfunctions. And the thing about it is, sometimes some of us, we can't find somebody because we may be a little too strong in our mental image of what we want a man to be. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
Yeah, we do have imagery normally about a man. Yeah.
and
Continue.
sometimes if you feel like you're looking for a certain man that doesn't exist, like your ideal man, and this ideal man is somebody that somebody cannot actually be, or is somebody that would never really exist in the real world. Like there are men who have ideas of women that act a certain way that no woman can ever actually be, you know?
Mm,
Like
okay.
they'll want a man who's like a protector, right? But also a soft man who is in touch with his feelings, and is also someone who will provide. And it's like, a man can't be completely everything. You can't be a soft man who's really in touch with your feelings, but yet still ready to kill somebody. And then all of a sudden you out here making millions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You want to be like that song, "I'm Every Woman." They want them to be every man.
Yeah. And the same thing, like a lot of men that say something like they want a virgin, and then they get a virgin and be like, no, no, I don't want a virgin. You know what I mean? Like, no, that's definitely not somebody I want, or something I want to deal with. Because I mean, it sounds good it sounds good in theory, but then when it actually, because a lot of things sound good in theory, but then when it comes into play and you got to actually work with what you think you want, you don't want anymore. That's what they say to do. No, another thing I learned when I was growing up with my family is
Uh-huh.
whatever a man wants, give it to him.
Okay.
9 times out of 10, he won't want it anymore.
Mm,
Like that,
okay.
you know what they used to say? Nothing makes a man appreciate his wife as much as extended time with his mistress.
Dang.
Like
Wow.
it's funny, you're like, what do you mean by that? Like a mistress is a man. A lot of times, a mistress is a man's escape from his wife and his home life, right?
Hmm.
But there's like, if you really want to get a man and he's cheating on you, what you do is you leave him, you send him to the mistress. And a lot of times that escape no longer becomes an escape when they got to deal with each other on a regular basis. It was so funny because this woman, right?
Hmm.
Woman I know, her husband left her for uh the real estate agent because they were selling their house.
Okay.
And she was like, "Oh, okay." So, well, he started cheating with the real estate agent, and the wife did that. She didn't want to lose her husband, so what she did was she gave him a dose of his mistress. She kicked him out, and he had to move in with his mistress. And like 3 or 4 months in, the mistress threw him out the house because she couldn't take him anymore. And what did he do? He came crawling back to the wife.
Mm, mm. That's kind of interesting. That is kind of interesting.
If you wanna, nothing makes a man appreciate his wife more than a good dose of his mistress.
Hmm. Okay.
Cause I like, I always say it's easy being a mistress because you only got to deal with half a man for half the time.
Half the man, half the time. Okay. That's how I go. Okay.
It is.
Not
'Cause
not
if
I
you
was gonna Oh, go ahead.
Oh, because if you think about it, you're not cleaning up after him. You're not making sure he's monitoring his money, or you're not doing any of the stuff that you really need. He's just chasing you, giving you a lot of attention, and y'all are getting. It's sort of like a forever infatuated stage. Just like that infatuation stage extended
Uh-huh.
the whole affair. That's all it is one long infatuation stage because he's constantly doing things, y'all constantly sneaking around. There's always some form of excitement and all this other stuff because you don't have the day-to-day responsibilities of balancing checkbooks, of taking care of children, of
Hmm.
making sure appointments are set, of just dealing with all the crap of life.
Uh-huh.
Instead, it's him sending love notes and you sneaking off to be with each other and saying things about how, oh, you're so sexy, I miss you. Oh, I want to hug and smell on you. You know what I mean? You get years of that. Uh,
Mm.
And I mean years of that. And it's like, yeah. But then all of a sudden, when he's no longer missing you every day and you got to live with him, it's like, yeah.
He's still here. You wake up, oh, there he is. Okay. I understand what you're saying. Now, I was going to go back because we did mention one time, well, it was a while back, about uh, being a virgin, but we never got a chance to talk about it on the other end as far as man wasn't familiar around the bedroom, and the woman has a little bit more experience. And I was going to ask, and we only have just you, I can only ask in the chat room as well, about how would that work for women as far as a guy not being that experienced? Is that going to uh, they're going to look a feel a certain way about that guy? They're going to look at him less, even though he's a good guy, or they're just going to work and learn together. You have any thoughts on that one?
It depends on the woman, because the kind of woman that's usually going to get with a virgin isn't going to be the kind that's, more passive.
Because she may not even know he is. I mean, she just knows he. They both young, not at the experience, and you get to fumbling around. She's like, "Oh, I thought it was gonna be better than this."
Oh, you talking
But
about like young virgins, like 19, or are you talking about like 18, 19 or something?
well, not even. Well, I'm not even gonna say a virgin. Let's just say inexperienced and not a lot of experience. And
Oh,
that's yeah, a guy not having a lot of experience.
well, again, it depends on how aggressive or how passive the woman is to me. I mean, like a passive woman might not enjoy it so much because of the fact that she doesn't know how to take control or be the dominant partner. Because in that situation, it will require the woman to be the dominant partner. So it will it would depend on how dominant the woman is, or does mind's being. Because as long as someone like a woman that's going to teach a man sexual tricks is going to be a more dominant type woman, because
Oh
she's
yeah.
going to be the kind that is like more, I'm willing to work and mold you into somebody. But a more submissive woman isn't trying to mold a man.
Hmm. Yeah, I look at it as if that's what's important to you, then you're probably not looking at the guy for what he, you know, really is. Because if you're looking at him as being a good guy, a good provider, that should be the main thing. I guess a little bit of what you were mentioning earlier about love being the basis of that woman being with that man.
See, the thing about, let's say he is inexperienced and you're a submissive woman, and if you're really experienced, that's going to be an issue, because if you're really experienced, then that means you've had a couple of orgasms and all this. See, if you're not as experienced, then it won't be that much of an issue, because then y'all just learning together. But I mean, if you're really experienced and he's not that good, then it won't be satisfying. And a lot of women, that'll help crush that daggone image in their head.
Yeah, Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate though, because to me in this time and age, you need to really get with a guy or partner that'll be, um, what is it, politically correct. You have to get with a partner that's going to work with you or work for you. Well, you can work together. I'll put it that way. Because that shouldn't be the main focus. I understand, though, it is important, but nowadays, just for survival and all of that, we need to really give up some of this, whatever you would call it. Think of a word for it.
Well,
That,
if we're dealing with people who are working on a thing for survival, then they'll know better or have a better understanding than to base their relationship off of something like sex and love. Because a person that's basing their relationship off of love isn't thinking about survival either. So
yeah, that's what I was saying, kind of reaches back to what you were speaking of. And and I'm not going into the part of saying, uh, you have to because the way the world is going, it's just important anyway, regardless if it was 20 years ago, in my opinion. Just to be healthy and to have a good relationship and raise your kids and all that good stuff. Not just, well, he don't do this and he can't perform this. That's not even that important. It doesn't put food on your table. It doesn't raise your kids. None of that.
and that's the thing about marriage. A lot of people sit there and they don't listen to that part when people talk about marriage. Like, there is going to be, if you have a long term marriage, there are going to be times where you just don't like your spouse. You just don't like
Hmm.
it's just going to happen. And it doesn't, when you don't like them, that's when you gotta fall on other things. That's what I mean when I say a marriage can't just be based on love, because that love will turn to hate. You could sit there and listen to Jada Pinkett talk about her hatred of Will. You could listen to the daggone what's that, the divorce court judge talk about how she couldn't stand the sight of her husband. I mean, there are times, if you're in a long-term marriage, that love will turn to hate, because it has to turn to hate before you get to acceptance. You can't reach acceptance until you hate your husband. And that sounds weird. Hello?
Well, we need to function enough to and respect the other person enough to serve them, because that's what it is. You're serving one another, regardless if the moon is really bright today or partly sunny.
Yeah.
You make a vow,
Yeah.
you have a goal.
You need respect. You need
Yeah,
loyalty. You need commitment. You need determination. And you need that your marriage should be based off of respect, loyalty, commitment, determination, and trust.
yeah,
If you have those five things, you can make it through. And I did not mention love. Love is great. Mm. But if you have those five things, you can make it through a long-term marriage.
yeah. In my opinion, love is an action, so uh, that's important. You have to serve each one another.
Because, like I said, when I was saying that you got to hate your husband before you can accept him, because, like I said earlier, that all women have an image of what they want of what they think their husband is, and that's the person they fall in love with at first, the image of the husband. And then you have to hate that image, because you have to break that image, and you have to accept the person for you are. And when you get to the point where you're hating him, it's because of the fact that he disappointed you, And the reason he disappointed you is because he's not living up to that image. And then after a while, you're gonna have to break that image to get to the point of accepting him for who he is. And that's when you move to the other side of hatred. And then that's when you get to a point in marriage where it's really sustainable for a long period, for long term.
So the original image was Superman and end up being I don't know, Scooby Doo.
It's funny because the same thing happens with children if you think about it. Like
Hmm.
when you're young, your father or your mother is like this God person, and then you got to break that image and see who they really are. Same thing with marriage.
Okay.
We have images that we fall in love with at times, and you got to sit there and you got to break this image. And that's why I say you got to get to hate a lot of times before you can move to acceptance, because you got to hate the person that they are because you're really hating the fact that your image has been broken. You
Hmm.
understand what I mean?
I understand what you mean, and I definitely want to read that book so I can. I'm a little well. I didn't take time. I'm not gonna say I didn't have time. I did not take time to read the book because I actually put it on hold, and the time would pass, and I never got a chance to read it. But definitely got to read that book.
And it's crazy because you know, like I've been through these stages, so I know what it's like when you go through each stage, and it's like, you know, like when I first met my husband. Oh my God,
Hmm.
the image I built of that man was iconic. I had a 6-hour conversation with my husband the first night we met. And at the end of that conversation, I thought I knew him. But what I knew was this image that I have built of him. And that we had just the best conversations, the best time together. And so this image of this man that I had, this man was fun. He was funny. He was charismatic. He would,
Uh-huh.
he would do all this for me, and he would do anything. And he was this man, this God man, during the factuation stages, this image is reinforced by all the things that you're doing together and all the stuff that you're feeding. And like even what Kendra was talking about, when a man decides to marry a woman, he does the pros and the cons. So
Uh-huh.
he's seeing that woman and he's evaluating that woman. That's why when they say things like men are more logical, I'm like, yeah, men are more logical. Women can say that she deals with logic, but even the act of falling in love is so emotionally based and so fantasy based for a woman that a man doesn't do that. He'll sit there and be like, "Oh, okay, well, she's crazy. She she has 5 kids and she likes to break the dishes. But I like the way she cooks, and you know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, okay, he's this, and to us, we're like, he would never do this to me because he's just so great and he's perfect. And I mean, I can do that. Not my man. My man is this, that, and other. While the man is like, okay, well, she might stab my cat, but I like the way she does this, and she makes me feel this way. You know what I mean? So they're dealing more with the reality of the person. Well, a woman be like, he wouldn't do that for me. He would never do any of that because I love him. He's perfect. And we love each other. And I mean, they have these things like, woman be like, my man will never touch porn and he'll never do any of that. And her husband's, he's sneaking porn on the side. You know what I mean? Then
Bone chicka bound bound.
she found out, she's
Mhm.
like, oh my God, how can you do that? How can you do that kind of thing? You're the man that doesn't do that. I can't believe it. Because he broke that image. That's what the disappointment is that broken image. And you gotta get to that. You gotta break that image before you get to the man. And then after a while, when you get to accepting, you're like, yeah, when I married him, I thought he was gonna be that, but it turns out he's a porn lover. And I'm
Ah,
fine with that now.
oh Lord. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. Okay. All right. That's interesting. Yeah, that's right, Rain and Woman. You the world and so much more. You're right. All zero. Now I'm not gonna say all that.
You get what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So that's why I was like, you got to move to that. You got to get through that point of hating this guy because what you're hating is the death of the fantasy.
Hmm. Yeah, I get what you're saying. What about you, audience? Are you buying this? Yeah, but I do understand what
They
you're
might think I'm crazy.
explaining. Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. It's interesting, and that's why I'm so curious how the book phrases it. Because I know it phrases it a little bit different, and kind of curious what the book says. And that's why I keep saying I got to get that book. I got to get that book.
It's funny. It's just, and I teach my daughters that because, the people don't know what marriage is or what it takes for marriage at times. And it's like, you end up stumbling your way through. I mean, because before I got married, I ain't know anything about fake images and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure if it's just a straight blueprint, but you are teaching, so that's a good thing. What you do know, what you can share.
So I'm like, it's something else. Because, I mean, 'cause when I was younger, you couldn't have told me there's not a fantasy image. This is who he is. But then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, yeah, actually, that's not who he was at all.
It seemed like until he took the suit off. Once he took that suit off, you're like, oh, he went in the phone book, took that Superman suit out, off. Oh, darn. This is what I got.
And it's funny
Okay,
because he was always who he has been.
exactly.
But the thing is, the image.
Yeah,
He's always who he has been and has always been that with the image. Because we create the image. It doesn't even have to do with the man adding to the image because he doesn't. It's just the woman creating the image. Sort of like when you said that guy that was a what you call him. At first, she was like, "Why is he acting like that?" Because you had an image of how he was supposed to be acting, and then you were
yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, no, that's who he is." Never mind that. And you ran away.
Okay, let me see if I can find this book for ya. Let's see, where would it be on my holes list? On my, I think it's in the whole area. I'll get it for you, Christine. It's somewhere. I may have to dig a little bit, but I should find it. I got we have 50 minutes left in the show. Hopefully, I'll find a book by then.
And then there are women out there teaching their daughters to have fun in their 20s, and that's like the worst advice you can ever tell a woman. You don't ever have fun in your 20s. Do not have
Uh,
fun in your 20s.
And how are they telling their children that? Are they saying, "You young baby, go out there and have fun. You
Yeah,
ain't got to settle down now. Just go on out there, baby."
go have fun, build up your career and all that good stuff. And it's like, because I mean, it sounds like good, solid advice, you know, if you're looking at it on a short-term basis. But let's get and if you get into the long term on that, let's say a woman does that. She goes out there and she has all her fun. She does her traveling. She builds up a nice career, you know what I mean? And everything is going great. And her life is going great. And she's like, okay, now I'm turning 30. It's time to settle down. And you're like, okay, fine. Now, the average woman is going to want a man around her age or maybe even a little older, right? So she's going to look
Hmm.
for men who's 32, 33, 34, or somewhere between 30 and 40. And then let's give it that 10-year gap, 30 to 40. Now, men who are single between 30 and 40 have been jaded a lot of times. They come
Okay.
with certain baggages. Let's say she's avoided all the baggage trap. She had her fun. She does have children. She's just 30 years old and got a great career and all this other stuff. Well, the men didn't spend their time doing that, so a lot of the good ones are snatched up, and the ones that are left have some kind of baggage, maybe past divorces or something like that, maybe kids and stuff. And on top of that, not only do they have some kind of baggage, but a lot of them are starting to date younger. So it's like you're jumping in a pool fresh into a pool that's already watered down. Like in your 20s, your pool is open. Sky's the limit. You got young 20-year-olds that are going to build up a career and be millionaires. You got 30-year-olds who have already established and so on and so forth. But when you're in your 30s, you got this limited pool and you're jumping in feet first into like the shallow end that will never get deep. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And it's like you, you're 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 doing yourself a disservice because you're limiting your opportunity for growth and for your future by doing that.
Well, with marriage, I would say, yeah, you're limiting yourself. But if that isn't something that you're wanting or
Oh
thinking
no,
of,
I mean
then
women who want marriage and start kids.
yeah,
Wait until they in their 30s to actually start looking for you know what I mean?
yeah, and if they even know about it, because I'm finding that a lot of people are getting married later on
Mm-hmm.
in life. I have a coworker, him and his girlfriend, they're about to get married. He's 40 and she is 42, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know other people have gotten married in their late 30s and 40s. And that's what I'm finding kind of average, at least around here in Chicago. Um, I don't know about other states and
Or
cities.
are
And
they trying to start families from scratch at 40 and 42?
um, I haven't heard anything about that. No, I have
Because
not
I
heard.
have a friend that got married at 38, but she
Hmm.
she was telling you she was telling everybody from the age of 24 she was not trying to have kids, and therefore she got married to a man who already was not trying to have kids too. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about women who you spend their 20s having fun so they can start a fresh family in their 30s.
Well, in Chicago, I'm finding that a lot of them are having children and having fun um, in their 20s. So they're actually doing both. But marriage is not a part of that at all.
Now you see, when it comes to women who have children in their 20s that don't have marriage, that aren't married, I have a theory on that.
You
And
do tell.
I feel that those, not all, because some people may be in a chat room that may fall into that, or may hear this on the stream that may fall into this category. But I feel that some of them may have twisted views on marriage and relationships in a way. Like some of them like I know some people in their 20s who have had children and they had them with a man based off of fake promises, and instead of accepting the person for who he was and the person that he was showing them to be, they again was doing it off of love and the image that they had created in their head. And it's
Mhm.
like if you have to instill in someone that they should require at least marriage, because if you don't instill that in them, or they don't feel that they should at least require marriage, that they'll sit there and start making a family with the fake image in their head, and it'll be dysfunctional. because they don't know how to actually have a real functioning family in that way. Again, based on love, and again based off of what they want or how they feel in their mind. Like I've known women who will sit there and be like, he got a girlfriend, but I'm his baby mama and we are family. And I'm like, well, his family is his child, but technically you're the baby mama, so you're not really family. But then when you say stuff like that, people don't want to hear that because that's in their mind, since they have a child together, that makes them family, but it really doesn't. But again, truth, something people don't want to accept.
Mm.
And
Okay.
so the baby mama think that she actually has an elevated position because she has a child, but you don't have an elevated position. You're not even part of his family if you really think about it.
Okay. Well, in her mind, she does though. Yeah.
Because she has this image of him in her head.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't align with reality, but that's her image. And that's who she's in love with, this image in her head, and not the real man who likes to have 2 or 3 women fight over him.
Now, as far as love, I'm not even certain about that part, but there are a lot of women that once they attach themselves, they have a child, they will attach themselves and not let that man go and stalk him and all kind of stuff and hold the child against him and all of that. Not quite sure what that's all about. I would not call that love, but
Well, they do call that love, and the reason why is because of the fact that not all of us know how to express love in a healthy way, or what even showed how to express love in a healthy way. Again, dealing with dysfunctions.
yeah, unfortunately, I wouldn't call it love, but I get you. I understand completely, and that's so unfortunate, and we hear about that more often than not, and that really needs to change.
Because they become obsessed, and that obsession drives them. That's what it is obsession. But they think of it as love, because usually when someone is obsessed like that, they have like mental imbalances and all this other stuff. And when you're dealing with mental imbalances and obsession,
Mm,
to them that it feels just like love. So
okay. Oh, wow, that's very unfortunate, very unhealthy. Um, yeah.
and the thing about it is, a lot of people act like that because they're being egged on by the partner. The women would do like that because they're being egged on by the partner, who is like some men will play the women off each other. Like
I have seen that too.
like let's say a baby mama's talking about the girlfriend, and she on the phone talking to the guy about the girlfriend, and then the guy hang up the phone and be like, man, she was just talking to you about you all day. It's just getting on my nerves how she was talking about you. That's him egging it on.
I have seen that. In fact, there was a woman that was on the bus stop with me one time, and I was on my way to work, and I already knew by her body language that she just wanted to talk. So I was ready for it. So I let her, have her time, and she told me about how this woman was saying this about her, um, and the baby daddy this and daddy that. And when she finished talking, and I asked her, "How do you know these things?" And she told me that he told her. And I looked at her, and she did some more talking, and I let her go ahead and get that out. And then I just asked her, since, she came to me now, I'm minding my own business on the bus stop. And I just had to ask her, I'm like, well, why are you listening to that? And she didn't have an answer. So, and then the bus came and we went our separate ways. But yeah, I have seen that in play. The guy would say, "Yeah, she this and that. See, she doing this, and see, she's saying this."
She doing
I've
too
seen
much.
that.
She messing with our love. She
Yeah, I've
doing
seen that
this, she
mess.
doing that. Yeah, they. I mean, sometimes what we call the obsessive girlfriend is usually just a chick being fed stuff from the man, and he'll sit there and go and tell the other woman all kind of stuff too, and they're just sitting there like, why she acting so crazy and always talking about me, and then other one be like, I'll be fighting. They be just a fighting and fighting, and then he the whole time like, yeah, she did this and yeah, she did that.
Mm, mm, mm.
So that's why a lot of times when you have the crazy ex girlfriend that be stalking, sometimes you gotta wonder. "Mm,
That's a hot mess. That is a hot mess.
Because
In fact, shoot, that's a reality show, isn't it?
if she's
Talk show or
stalking,
something.
how she stalking so hard is all I'm saying. That'll be the first word out my mouth is how she stalking so hard. She calling you all the time. You haven't blocked her yet. You haven't changed the number. How she stalking
Mhm.
so hard? What exactly is this stalking she done? She like the girl was talking about the fact that when the example I used earlier, she was making comment under his picture saying mean things about his girlfriend on Facebook. Why is she commenting under the picture saying mean things about the girlfriend on Facebook though? You know what I mean? But she's a
Mm-mm.
stalker.
No, that doesn't add up. Not at all.
So I'm like, I'll be like, when a man say he got a stalker ex girlfriend, I'll be thinking to myself, but do you really?
Yeah, that doesn't add up. Welcome, reigning woman. I hear you typing back there. Go ahead and introduce yourself and go ahead and go right on ahead. Uh-oh, can't hear you. How are you? Can you hear us? Oh, you're muted. Okay.
That was something I was saying. I mean, there are crazy women who stalk men and are obsessed with men. Yeah, because of their delusion in their heads or their mental imbalances or whatever. And they think it's love because they're crazy. But I mean, a lot of these so-called stalker exes aren't those type of women though. So you gotta weed out which type you're dealing with.
Now we'll in fact, I don't know why I don't even try to post this. Why don't I post it? I have the option of posting it. Um, Now I have to agree with Rain and Woman on this one because we do teach people how to treat us. Uh-oh, echo, echo.
You hear it echo?
Yeah, mute your YouTube feed.
Let me see. Okay. Oh, is that better?
All right, you should be
Is
good.
that better?
Yes, I don't hear myself.
Hi,
Oh, now I do hear
ladies.
myself. But anyway, we'll work with it.
Can y'all hear me?
I can't hear you. Are you on what is that?
Can
Not
you hear me?
speakerphone. I can hear you, but we do have an
No,
echo.
I'm not.
Okay. Well, I'm going to mute myself just in case, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I just wanted to come up and say, this is a very interesting topic. When I was cleaning, when my computer was done getting off scan, I didn't want to come up because I was in the middle of a very good topic. And I was like, oh, you're in the groove right now, so I want to get with the groove. But it actually just feels good to be around a calmness, a calm demeanor of women right now. So I just want to soak this up. I just want to soak this up.
Okay, soak on, sister. Groove on, sister. No problem. Yeah, just to let you know, in case you did not know, this is our actual second Friday stream. It will. My goal is to just have women to come up, have a conversation, whatever that may be. Um, you don't really concern yourself with me being a judge. You can say that it's 10 days in a week. I'm not going to judge you. That's what you think. That's just what you think. Um, I'm not going to argue with you, but I do want ladies to come up, have a conversation, because the men are requesting that they do like to hear the ladies speak. So you're welcome to join us. It'll be Friday, 9:30 to midnight Central Time. And also we're doing Saturday, 7 p.m. to 8:30. So we don't keep them long because, people don't have a lot of time to watch playbacks. So I keep them kind of short and conversation gets good. I just say, hey, come back next week, we'll continue it. So that's how it is. And this is our last Friday of the year. So I'm glad that you were able to join us. Um, Welcome. Appreciate it. And it's today it was just me and Fitness Mom. And also too, if I don't get any ladies to join me
Well,
within the first hour or so, I'll just cut the stream because it is for you all.
may I say something really quickly?
Go right ahead.
I just want to encourage all of the female content creators in 2020 to just be sure that you stay focused on the reason why you're doing content and don't try as much as possible to not get distracted by what's going on in the world and what's going on in other sectors of YouTube that does not have anything to do with your purpose or your mission, so that your message and your ideas and your creativity will continue to go forward undivided and reach the people that is intended to reach, not in comparison to anyone or anything else, because your mission and your purpose is just that for you, and everything that is for you will be there for you as long as you don't block your own blessing and your own path.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that. That is very encouraging, and that is true. Um, and I'll just add to that, in my opinion, everyone has a voice. Uh, Not all may agree with it, and that's okay. But each content creator have their purpose, and those that will find you, they will find you. Your audience will find you, whatever that is. Um, so thank you so much for that. I do appreciate it. And we have a half hour left. Did you have anything else you want to talk about, Fitness Mom? Because Rainy Woman, she just dropped off. She just wanted to absorb the conversation,
Oh, okay.
give a good word, encouragement,
Oh,
which is
okay.
which is always needed.
Yes, 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 yes. Let's see. Well, we're about to enter a new year, new decade, actually, I,
Yeah.
I think it's a perfect time for us to start setting 5 and 10 year goals, because they say your life is a culmination of the last 10 years, right?
Yes, that's the word on the street.
So it's time to get your life ready for 2030. Since 2020 is coming up, it's a fresh decade. It's new beginnings, new everything. Start setting your purpose for 2030 and how you want your life to look in 2030, and then break it down into what you need to do year by year, is what I feel like. Because I'm going back in you know how I tell people, when dealing with the octanes again that
Hmm.
BTS talk about. I tell people, he was like, "What's your octane?" I was like, "I was born and raised at 87. And then through my friends, I ended up moving to 89. And I stopped my career for a while, and now I'm about to get back into the business world now that my son is older and he's ready to be able to go to a daycare or something. So I'm got to start dealing with 92s again. So I'm
Mm.
like, I gotta be a 92, a fake 92.
A fake one, okay.
Because I am not a 92, but my line of work requires a 92 and 89 at least, but definitely a 92 because I'm a real estate agent and I work in the high end market.
Okay.
So I'm like I sell real estate in Texas out here in Dallas. So I'm going to be dealing with the people in the market that I deal with, and they are people who have net worths of upwards of $1 million. So I'm going to have there's a lot of crap you got to deal
Yeah.
with when dealing with those people, and you got to
Yeah.
look and act a certain way because you got to fit in. So like I said, I'm going to put on my fake 92 suit and be a fake 92 for work.
Okay. That's kind of funny. We talked about the fake Superman suit and then peel it off and see who's up under there. And you got to put your fake 92 suit on. Okay, when you go to work. All right. That's all right.
Yeah, I gotta go to galas, do black tie events, join all the little business clubs and this club and that club, and I gotta go to charity and silent auctions and all this other crap again. Just live that life, and I'm gonna be like, yeah.
Okay.
But I love the job. I do love the job. I love the job, but it does require me to be a different person than what I am. Like I said, I'm an 89, and 89
Uh-huh.
failed 92s. Like you said, they want the lifestyle of a 92, but don't want to put in the work. Well, I'm like, I don't want to put in all this work, but I do kind of like the job, so I'm gonna have to put in all the work.
Okay. All right.
Is there anything you are trying to set your life up for the next couple of years?
Well, I'm not gonna say I'm thinking small, but I'm taking small steps only because of the way things are going. A lot of the things that I was doing, it is becoming automated and not necessarily obsolete, just automated. And some of the things they're wanting more experience with. So I'm trying to figure out what direction to go, um, which is why have to live in Chicago a little bit longer because it takes me a little longer to save the money up to do a permanent move. And because I don't want to go with nothing. Uh, Starting off like maybe I don't know, a college student or a teenager somewhere. I actually want to be set up. So it's going to take me a little minute. Also, I have been fighting it, but I know I'm supposed to be in management. I just didn't want the responsibility.
Yeah, yes, I know what you mean. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that whole 92, right?
Hmm.
I'm like, I don't want
I
to.
have been fighting because I just didn't want to deal with it. When the clock strikes 5, I want to go home. I
You
don't want
know,
to stay there and do this with the books and the meetings and all of that kind of stuff. And the funny part of it is I already invest my mind to help some things that's running from 9 to 5. I'm just not getting paid for it. So that's why I said I've been really fighting it. And I do know that's where I'm supposed to be. So I'm going to have to just flow with the universe and go where I'm supposed to go.
and that's another thing about it. Like I used to do the extra stuff that the 92s did, but since I wasn't required to do it, it wasn't. But once you get to the point where it's a requirement, that's when it becomes like, it no longer becomes something that you do for joy. It then becomes a task.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be interesting because, for you too, you have children, and um, I know you said your son is ready for daycare and everything, but um, it will be a little tough, but I know you can do it.
Yeah, because
You already have your.
I was in real estate with my middle child when she was younger. But again, I had waited until she was at the age that my son is now. And then when I got pregnant with my son, I was like, oh, well, it's time for me to get back out of real estate again. Because, I mean, it requires long hours in the day.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to do this pregnant, and I'm not going to do this while he's real young.
Right.
So I got out of real estate, and the thing about it is, like, I have that's why I was, telling BGS when we was talking, like, I have a lot of 92 friends because, you
Hmm.
run into a lot of 92s doing this. And this one friend of mine, as soon as she heard that I was getting back in, all of a sudden she's setting me up for this, that, and the other. And I'm like, she's ready to hit the ground running. I'm like, wait a minute.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not ready. She said, okay, so we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that and we're gonna do this. And she's like, do you still get up at 5 o'clock? Because I get up at 5 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, I still get up at 5 o'clock. She's like, okay, so we could do this at 6. We do this by 7. And I'm like, my day about to be sucked again.
Yeah. That's all she was waiting to hear, that you were ready, and she's ready for you.
I mean, she sent me a link today. Telling me, so you ready to go to this? And I'm like, what? She got classes
Hmm.
and stuff. We ready to go? We gonna go to this one. We're gonna do that. And I'm like, you're just a little too gung ho right now. I'm just trying to stick a toe in at the present.
Yeah, she's not even giving you the 2020. She said, you had your birthday, let's go.
I'm like, she told them they got this thing going on January 8th. I'm like, January 8th.
Hmm. That's your next event. Wow. Well, I'm pretty sure that you will do well. And yeah, I'm pretty sure. And so that's just where I am. And I'm glad to hear that you have some things lined up. Um, and I'll just end the show here on that note and wish everyone a happy new year. Um, I am going to have a show tomorrow. It will be 7 p.m. Central, and that one will run until 8:30, and that'll be the last show for the NeoSector for Women for the year. So you're welcome to come by, hop on, give support. We'll be there. And now for that particular show, I have particular topics and things I bring up, um, and we talk about. So you're welcome to come on by and join the conversation.
Happy New Year.
And for those that I may not see tomorrow, Happy New Year to you. And thanks so much for tuning in, supporting us. I do appreciate it. Thank you for the thumbs up. Any contributions, we appreciate it to the channel and your time. So thanks again, and hope to see you tomorrow. And if not, Happy New Year's, everyone. Peace.